Hello there, it's me, Sari here again, and today I thought I'd make an English video. It's been a while since I actually took the time to do an English version, and I haven't got any particular plan apart from making use of the Dylusions paints that I've got. I just took them out just to see if they still work, because I've been having these in my storage for quite some time now, and they actually work. And this is what I did with my first pull, so I thought I'd show you how I did this and perhaps even go on working with it. I started off, I'm just using these printer papers really because I think that I'm getting a really good result picking up the colours off the plate with these. And I just used, I think it was the orange, white and the pink. So they are called, let's see, bubblegum pink, squeezed orange and white linen, I think. And I just put them here and mix them with my brayer. In this case I'm using a speed ball brayer. And what I did first was I just lifted off some ink with my homemade foam stamps. I've used some foam, funky foam, and some dyes, and I've just glued them onto a piece of carton, and then I've put on a piece of tape so I can have a handle to just lift things up with, so I don't have to make my fingers more dirty than I need to. And I've used different kinds of dyes, and I just thought I'd just take you on this playful cruise with me. So first off, I just lifted off the excess colour from the plate and I just printed them here. And it's quite fun to see that you could actually use them. So if I were to continue working on this, because this was the first pull or print that I took, and it's quite a lot of ink there, or paint there I must say. So in this case I could see myself continuing working on this one with other colours just to see what could happen. And then I did a ghost print, and this one was really nice because I didn't get the texture which I thought I was getting, because I had lifted off the colour. But this one is completely flat, as you see. But here it starts to get interesting, and this is also something that I can continue working on to create more texture if things go my way, I say. So let's see. The one thing that you have to bear in mind when you are working with the gel plate of sorts, depending on the size, of course, you are going to use a lot of paper, and you are going to need a lot of drying time storage, if you will. So let's just take this for what it is. I mean, I haven't got a plan, as I said, but I do have quite a few of these, and I want to make use of them before they dry out completely. Sorry. I've been stuck with this cough and everything for a long time now, so I'm just still in my pajamas. I almost said it's a nightgown actually, and I'm just trying to start my day with this method. So what I learned from the last time was that I had a little bit too much paint there, and you know what, I just saw this homemade stamp. I've used a dye from, I believe it's Uniquely Creative or something. You can find them at Sari's stamping studio if you're interested. So I thought that I'd just go in with a little less, and I'm just using a plastic palette knife like this. And I thought that I'd just put on a little bit of paint just to have more control. And I'm just going to brayer it out, and I'm going to lift it off. And I need to think about where do I want to put the lift off. Perhaps I should take another piece of paper, and I'm just using these scrap pieces of paper. So I usually like to just put it in there, and it's a bit slippery, it is. So if you are interested in keeping, you know what, this is the one that I want. So I don't want the background, I want the brick texture. So I'm just going to try to put it there. And it worked. It isn't as perfect as perhaps one would like to, and that has to do with the fact that it isn't thick enough with paint here, but as I told you, if I'm going to put too much paint, it's going to be slippery. And now I actually managed to get some paint on my arm there. So that's the thing, you need a lot of space and a lot of room, and it's a bit difficult when you're making a film like this because you have a limited space, don't you? So I'm just going to put this one here. And the thing about playing with your gel plate really is that you are going to create layers upon layers. So you shouldn't fall in love too much with what you are creating. Just dare to go forward. And I thought I'd take myself on that kind of a journey today. So let's see, I do have some leftover ink there. So perhaps I could dare to put it on this one. You know what, I could just kiss it a little. You know what, it actually took up quite a lot. Well, I shouldn't fall in love, I said. So let's not do that then. So here we are, another layer. So I've used quite strong colours there, but you can always go back and just put on white or black, or just use a stencil of sorts just to sort of hide away or hide out the important bits. I mean, it's going to be fun. Let's see if I can maintain my focus here. And now I actually saw this one. Usually it's a good idea to use leaves and such, and it's also a good idea to wipe this one clean while the paint is wet, otherwise it's going to get stuck there. And it's also a good idea to actually wipe off the excess paint onto a piece of paper. So I'm just going to put this one on top, and I'm going to brayer it off like this. And sometimes I find that these brayered off papers are almost the best because they give a really nice start for your background. So I'm thinking that I like this one, and I know that these are pretty busy. These are pretty busy indeed. But I'm thinking that if I have this in white, it will calm it down. That's at least what I'm hoping for. So let's see. And I'm just going to take a little bit more because since I'm just working with one colour, I could go in with a little bit more, I think. And then I'm going to brayer it out a little like this. And I'm going to pick up some paint here. I'm used to saying ink, I see, but this is paint that I'm working with. Of course you could go for ink, especially distress oxide inks are perfect for the jelly plate. Look at that, wonderful. And you know what, I'm actually storing my gel plate on a cutting plate for, let's say, a Gemini or something, because I find it easy to lift away when I'm going to do the stamping, and so I can actually have a lot of working space left here, because that one is going to take quite a lot of space. In the beginning I actually just stuck it to my work surface and it was alright, but since I'm going to... Oh, that was lovely. Look at that. Wonderful. And just think about that, you don't actually have to keep the format as big as it is, because you can always cut it down, and that's where it gets interesting, I think. So let's see, I'm going to take that, but I'm sort of interested in finding out what that would look like, but I haven't got that much. You know what, that's something I could remember for later perhaps, because I find this one really appealing. And had I now had a really strong background, apart from this of course, I could have just put the white on top of the colour, and it would have been a great thing, because then I would have something peeking out through that, I hope. But let's see, let's continue. So what I could do is brayer it out again and just make another leaf print, because I do like it. It's slippery, as I told you, so just... I mean, if you're not particular about having a perfect image left on the plate, it doesn't really matter, because you're just going to ink up your stamp, if you will. Move that to the side, and I think that I'll actually just put it from the top and have it sort of create an interesting look. And I usually like to hold my hand on top of the stamp for a while, because these foam stamps, they might take a little bit of time before they release the ink. Oh, and I really like this, and this one is stronger, as you can see. So that's how you can play with impact, or let's say, I mean, I'm just looking for a word here. It's nice to have different hues, different amounts of paint. And I'm just going to take another one and I'm going to ink it rather well. And I think that I'll actually just put it there and lift it up. And it's a really nice, so this is a nice way of actually just calming the paper down, I think. So let's see, I could just put that on the side, and I do have some white here. I could let it dry, or I could just put it on top of this one, so I could just continue working with something else, as well as I could clean off the brayer. And thinking about using thin papers, I mean, using parchment papers and such could be a good idea. You could get really nice results with that, even though you think that it's going to be too flimsy and too sort of fragile, but I think it works. I'm going to make another print, take off the white. And I don't think that I actually cleaned this one up now, did I? So here we are. And I'm getting some green there. So it's nice to see how I can pick up the layers one after another. So let's see, I could go on with some other colours now, and I think that I could actually just print over these. I don't have to keep them forever now. I'm just going to show you, or just try things out really, basically. There are foam stamps that could be really nice to use as well. I mean, these have their handles ready, and I could find these in craft stores and such. Let's see, I'm going to take another. You know what, I'm just thinking what could be nice. Sometimes I've been really fascinated by having a black background and then just having some white and red accents. And since I do have all of those, I haven't got the black now, do I? You know what? I do have 3 jars that are sort of stiff or hardened, but I've sprayed a little water in them and I've shaken them, and let's see if I can make it work. You know, this one is really thick. I'm not sure if it's going to work. It's really, really thick. So that's, I mean, it didn't really help having the water in. I might have to add even more water. I mean, since this one is gone anyway, it doesn't really matter what I do with it. I just want to find the sprayer. Yeah, it's here. Just can't see it now, can I? So I'm just going to add on some more water just to see what happens. And I'm going to move it around a little. It seems like this one's going to need a lot of water. It could be nice to see if I can make it work though. More water. I'm not sure I can make this work. I think it's going to be difficult to brayer it out, really. Well, let's see. Let's give it a go. So I'm just going to use my palette knife here to sort of flatten it out. And I'm thinking that this is going to create a hot mess. So I need a couple of papers to clean it off, really. But let's see. And black is really a strong colour, so you need to clean it up properly. So I think I'll just give it a go, see what happens. There are some thick pieces of paint here, but you know what? That could be interesting also. That could sort of give it some texture to the paper. So now I'm just going to take a piece of paper like this and let's see what happens. This is what I'm talking about. The clean off pages are almost the best, because that one accidentally had some texture on it from the excess paint. And I actually managed to get a black page, so perhaps I shouldn't complain too much about it. And now I have some really interesting texture going on here. So I have to wait with the idea of have on adding on something, unless I could go for another of these gel plates, because I have several of them. And it might be a good idea actually to let this one dry a little. So I'm going to get another one. It's good to have different sizes, and unfortunately I've used a purple cutting plate for this one, so you won't be seeing the colours as wonderfully as I would want to, but let's hope I can make it work anyway. So now I have the black one going on there, and I have this pink, so I do want something else. I really like this one, and it could be fun if I could get this one to work, because I had to add some water to this one as well. And I think that this one could work better than the black one. So, those aside. And I just like green, and especially this one, the Dirty Martini. That's my green colour. That's a really nice colour, I think. So, I'm just going to put these two greens. This one is Fresh Lime. And I need to clean this one a little bit better. So I'm just going to take a baby wipe. And there's quite a nice amount of green here. So I thought I'm sort of lisping here, aren't I? I thought I'd just create a background and lift off some ink and do the same sort of printing that I did before you saw me actually making it. So in this case I'm just going to roll and lift to get the colours going, and it's pretty much quite a lot of colour here, I must say. So I think that I'll be getting the same result that I did the first time. That is, so I can get some nice stamping things going on. And I don't really want to go here or do it. You see, they are turning pink. So the white is actually absorbing the colours underneath. That's interesting, isn't it? I thought that it was going to stay white, but it didn't. So that was something to have in mind. So I'm just going to... Oh no, this is a nice one. I think this one is from Pronti. It's a circular or swirly thing. And... thinking about, you know what, I could actually see myself going. I like the background of it. It's a by accident. It's a really nice one. I think that I'll try to make it work with some... I don't have to go with the red and white, as I said. I could actually go with the green and white on top of the black. So I'm just going to use this as a stamping block, just to see what happens. And I'm going to push it there. Oh, lovely. And I like to have the stamps a little bit outside the blackness, because, or the black border, because I don't want everything to just stay inside. So that one could stay in the center, of course. And I don't want everything to be in a sort of a straight line or everything. I just want them to be irregular. And that one is going to be too much like the other one, but I still want it there, like that. So now I have 5 circles there. I like those circles, those are nice. And I could see myself trying to put the leftover ink, or paint in this case, over here as well, just to see what happens. And I should not fall in love with my backgrounds. Just go for it, sorry, I tell myself now. Be bold. I really like stamping with these foam stamps because they are soft and they are nice and they are high enough not to get your fingers dirty. So that's it. I mean, it's a nice page, isn't it? It's coming on nicely. And just continuing stamping on this with black and white and everything, I think it's going to be nice. So in this case, I could try to lift it off, and I could actually try to lift it up on this one, since I'm not going to save that or keep that. And I'm just going to put this one there, and I'm going to take off the excess. Look at that green colour. Lovely. And it seems like there's a bit of green left there, so I'm just going to lift it up. And it's a pretty wet page, so I must say that Dylusions paints lift up pretty well. So now I have some interesting things going on here. So what I could do is put this one aside, and now I could start thinking about what I could do with this, because I think it's dry enough now. So I did say something about, you know what, I think I'll just colour in a small portion. I don't have to make everything white. So I could just put that one there. And wipe it clean. Ish. And brayer it out. So let's take another stamp. Since I do have the circles here and I want to continue working on that one, I need to find something that gives it a nice contrast. Numbers are always nice, and I believe that this one is turned on the reverse side, so I think I can make it work. I just need to get this one to the side. So I'm just going to lift up some paint, and I'm just going to stamp with it. And I like to continue in the same fashion. It's upside down, aren't you a darling? You know what? It was meant to be. Don't think about it. Just going to be another layer, isn't it? So now I have those going on there. I've got 4. I need the 5th. Let's put it there. Let's see what happens. I think that those whites are not going to stay that white. And I do have this one now, so I could actually try to get this one off here as well. So now I have that one there. And I do have some white here, and it's not going to be interesting enough to lift it. So I think that I'll try to brayer it once more like that. And I have to think about what on earth I could do with that. And I'm just looking for different stamps that I've got here in my stash. You know what? I think this one is from Kaisercraft. It's a die that I've used to cut this shape. It's called Sari. Imagine that, and I just had to get that. So I think that this one is a little bit too wet still, but you know, since I'm working with paint on paint, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Let's move this one to that side and that one there, and I'm going to need to clean that one soon enough. So I'm just going to put the third one like so. So that's something to start off those layers, and I think I'll just stamp it off like that. And now I think that I'll just get rid of the excess here. And since I do have something going on with the white before, I could just continue working on it, and I could brayer off leftover ink, and you can see that it's getting dirty from the previous ink that I had, or the paint that I had on the brayer. So they are mixing, so it's a really good idea to clean it up like this. So I didn't get everything away. couldn't lift it up completely. So there is a little bit of something to do here, and since this one is first here, it's going to be a sort of a white foggy look on the thing that I'm going to do the print on. So I think I'll just take another sort of clean paper just to see what I can pick up, because I don't want the sort of foggy square or rectangle on top of everything. Look, I mean, for goodness sake, look at this. I really could pick up the colour, so that's nice. This is a really fantastic page, I must say. Wow, I love the orange and everything there. Nice. Sometimes I get a nice surprise like this. So I guess I could do the same thing with the leftover black ink here, just to try another page. And you just have to remember that even though you're trying to make something with the first print, mostly it's the second or even the third print that is going to give you the aha or the just wow effect. So I talked about red before, and you know what? See what's happening here? The white is turning purple. I'm not sure if you can pick it up, but I can see it and it's purple. So that's interesting, isn't it? But the green stayed green on top of the black. So this one is going in a completely different direction. So that's nice. Oh, that's a surprise, I must say. So let's see. And I'm just, you know, I'm going to take a little bit of red and just rummage through my box of homemade stamps. And now there's quite a lot of red, but you know what? I just don't want to throw these away. I just want to make use of them. And yeah, you know what? Just a second. Brayer and lift, brayer and lift. So now there's an interesting black in the background, and I want to lift off. And you know what? You could do your own sort of stamps or texture plates with strings and such. It's not always easy to make it work. And you know, I'm always partial to dots. So here I've used these things that you can actually put underneath your furniture so the floor won't tear up. And then I've used a piece of styrofoam, I think, and then I just covered it up with some silver tape and glued these on. So now I have a really nice stamp to work with. I'm just thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to need another paper. And I think that this one, that I have done a couple of, I think that the red one could work on that one actually. So that one to the side. This one is a little bit wet still, but I'm hoping I'll be able to work wet on wet. And I'm just going to put those there. That's interesting. I really like that because I didn't want them to be overpowering, you see. So that's nice. I like it. Thank you very much for that. I'm not really there with the idea of actually combining red and green because they are two really strong colours that are going to compete with each other. So I think I'll just put it in here instead just to see what happens. It's just going to layer on top in a really sort of soft way. That's nice, isn't it? So there we are. Another layer. And this, oh, I love it. I love dots. I love dots. So let's see. I've got another beautiful thing here, and I'm not sure where I could put it. I could try to put it on the really strong one there, because there is so much going on here, so I could actually just make it even worse, is my initial thought. Just going to put red. I'm just going to keep it there for a little while. Lift it up and put it on top. And I doubt that the red one will take for anything from the underneath colour because it's red already and it's a pink, so red is stronger. Just going to put these a little bit on top of each other. So now I could actually see myself trying what I was talking about before, because now I have that print here and it's a red background, but there is a little bit of black there as well. So let's see if I can make it work. I might not make it work the first print, but perhaps the second print. So let's not be mad if it doesn't work the first time. Let's see. There's a lot of red paint. Let's see. So this is it. It doesn't really show that much as I suspected. But let's see now, because now I have that, now it should be more visible. And most preferably, of course, it would have been lovely to have another colour underneath. But I think that it's going to be nice enough. Look at this. I have some leftover ink and they are sort of creating their own patterns here. So that's also nice, but also something that perhaps you want to take care of if you want to have your brayer clean enough. But I find it fascinating getting those extra textures. And now we are talking. You see, this one, the first print, is going to be just too strong. The print isn't coming through, but this is what I like. This is a really nice one. This one doesn't need that much more. I mean, I could just die cut a word, perhaps have a saying there. This is really nice. I mean, there's a lot going on there, just exactly as I had here. So you see, it's nice to have not clean the plates per se with water and you know what, but it's nice to actually let the colours clean up the plates. This one is nice because I could continue working on this one. It has got some orange stuff, and I can continue working on that one. So let's see. I've used quite a lot of colours here. So this one is really strong in colours. If I sort of like it, I'm not too afraid of it, I must say. And I can always calm things down by stamping something with black on top. I don't want to put black here again, or do I? Perhaps I do want that, because I get these really grungy nice effects afterwards. And I really like the green, but it will also be nice to see if I can create my own colours, if you will, because all I have is those strong colours. You know what? I haven't used these now, have I? So let's see if I can do something with those. They might be a bit strange to combine. They are sort of like the colours in the Swedish flag, or the Ukrainian flag, I think. But let's see where we can get with this. So this one is called Lemon Zest. And this one is Vibrant Turquoise. Vibrant Turquoise. Yeah, sort of like the Swedish flag colours. So let's do a bit of brayering. I could try to keep the colours intact somewhat, and it's easy enough to turn the plate when you have it on a plastic bit like this. I could do a bit of brayering off. Bloody hell. And let's see, I didn't get it completely clean, but I think that's going to give it a nice, interesting look anyway. And I'm hoping for a little bit of mixture here, so that they're going to create a green colour somewhere. And you know what? I'm going to take another piece of paper to get rid of the excess. And look at that! It's really strong, isn't it? But I think I can make it work somewhere. So what could I do now? I need another piece of paper, because I don't want, I need something else, something new. Move that to the side, and let's create some room to move. And I'm trying to lift off some ink. Oh, this is a lovely one. I like this one. This is a really sort of, and you know what? Since I'm going to do stamping now, and these are the colours, I'm not sure. Should I dare to put it there? Yeah, good. Not too bad. And you see that the paint that I've lifted off, I'm transferring on to there. And I have it here as well. Sort of faint, not overpowering. And if I'm going to do, I would like to have some more texture going on here. And I would like to, you know what, I have this sort of a yellowy thing here. I could actually try to lift off a little so I can have a little bit texture going on here. Perhaps this one is going to be the best one for me later on. You never know. You never know. That's the thing. I'm looking for some grid texture now, and you can all, yeah, look at that. I found a nice stamp. So that one is really nice, and I'm just going to lift off and find a place to put it. It doesn't come off that much, but I'm hoping it'll give me some nice texture on this plate. And now I'm actually stamping with, you see, this is really lovely. This is what I like about the jelly plate system. And I could get it over here somewhat, perhaps even there. So I'm just going to keep, and you know what, I think that the pages that I'm not caring too much about, I think those are the ones that are going to be most organic and lovely. And ooh, let's see what happens here. So now I'm just going to pull off a print here, and now can't wait to clean off that brayer. It's really itching, I must say. It didn't have that much now, did it? You see, I'm getting the paint from the holes here. I mean, it's really fun, I must say. So let's see what happens. Oh, you know what? Not too bad. There is a little bit of interest going on here. I can see the texture. But let's see what happens if I'm going to take another piece of paper. Can I get it to look like something? You never know. Just came to think about when I said if it's going to look like something. I've been watching the Westworld series on either Viasat or HBO or Netflix, and in the beginning, I think it's the first series, they say something about it doesn't look like anything to me, or done something like that, and in Finnish you say ei ole mistään kotoisin. It doesn't belong anywhere. I mean, it's really nice to think about how you are using your language and how things, I mean, the imagery of how you are using the language and how it works. It's really nice. Now let's see, this one picked up, cleaned it up really nicely, and look at that. I love it. Really, really, really love it. Really lovely. Oh, sometimes, you know, sometimes you just luck out. And you know, I was a bit afraid of using those colours, and I think this is a really harmonious, lovely piece. Oh, sometimes you just luck out. Let's see, it's a little bit wet still, so it's twisting and turning over there. Should I go for something else? I did use the red one here, and I like it, I must say. I think that my favourites are ending up on that side, really. Perhaps that one should be there as well then, because I sort of like it. I do have this strong one, so I could start thinking about what I would like to put on top of this one. What could look nice. And now that I know that the white one is going to turn pink, so it's a no-no. Black is going to be a really nice stark contrast to this, so I could go there. And I could also perhaps dare to put on this with some small things. So let's see. So I do have black. So if I'm going to use black, it's going to be a small amount, don't you think? So let's see. Black. And it was the mushy bit. Bloody hell, I almost said, and I did. So, considering that I actually did get the black one to work, You know what, sorry, just take a little. Just take a little and be happy with it. So let's see, clean it up. So, a bit of braying, and this one stretches a bit, I must say, and it could be a good idea because then it's not going to be too empowering. Oof, I'm just struggling for words here. Is it empowering? It could be empowering, or just too strong enough. Too strong for the other colours. I have some numbers. It's always nice to have numbers, but I'm not going to go there now. I have this one, and I think that this one could actually work. It's another swirly thing there, and I'm just inking it up really well, or just painting it up, because it's paint, isn't it? So let's see if I can make it work. You know what? Too bad, because it's nice that it doesn't overpower the thing. Oh, that one was stronger. It's alright. It's nice to have. Well, I think that I'll just put it like so. And as I said, I really do like these foam stamps. These are really, really nice, because then you have a soft cushion to push against. Like so. So that's something. I'm looking for something Chinese here, it seems like. So I could think, now I have to think about doing something, as then I need some more papers. So let's see, I'm going to just take more printer paper, because I do have that black, and I'm not sure what to do with it really, because I don't want just to have a black blob somewhere. So I think I'll just, you know what, this could be nice. This is something that you shouldn't underestimate. It's a roll of some sort. I'm not sure what has been on it. Yeah, foil. Foil has been on this has been on this one before. And I think that I'll try to lift off some circles and do a bit of circle stamping like this. I like this one because it's a sturdy one. It's much more sturdy than the toilet paper roll, if you will. So I've got 5 there now. So this one is going to last. That's good. And what else have I got here? I have this one as well. I did have the, yeah, this could be nice, and it's black. So let's see if I can make it work. I think this is a really thick paint now, isn't it? But I'm thinking, would I dare to actually put the... I'm thinking that I might be on my way to destroying this, but I sort of want to give it a go. And you know what? I really like having the tape handle here, because you can fold it and you can really flatten it out with that. You know what? I actually like the faintness of this brick wall. And I did put some guidelines so I wouldn't end up really having the brick pieces everywhere. They might go everywhere anyway, but I'm just going to give it a go. So I'm going to put another, perhaps I just put it in the middle then, because I don't really see where else I could put it. So now we have that one there. Oh, you know what, I could just continue because that one looks silly. I'm going to put it here as well. They are a bit wonky, aren't they? So it's a wonky wall. And let's see. If I turn it over, it's a hot mess. So there's nothing to write home about yet. So I'm just thinking what I could do to lift off something, and I've got a honeycomb here. I believe this die is from Uniquely or something. And I'm just going to do a bit of lifting of colour, really, if I can create some texture there. There isn't much paint left, and I'm a little bit worried that the paint is going to get stuck on the brayer, so I'm going to... You look at that! I'm telling you, the things that I'm not afraid of. Let's put that on top, just to see what happens. Let's grunge this one down. So, I'm a little bit afraid of this one, I must say. But I'm thinking that if I were to add on some other colour, perhaps the yellow, and hope it would seep through the crevices there, it could create a nice print. And I'm afraid of putting too much, because I've seen that if I have too much paint, I won't be able to lift it up. It's just going to lift up the top layer. So that could work for me sometimes and sometimes not. But now I'm just going to do a bit of brayering, and it's going to be thin enough, I think. And a clean paper. So now that's a hot mess. Let's see what happens underneath. And I still thought that I had a thin layer. There you see. And this is a nice clean up, I must say. Important. And it didn't end up as I wanted it, but you live and you learn. So as I told you, sometimes you luck out and you end up with the things that I've got on the left side, and other times you just end up, what is that? But you know what? I rarely throw these papers away, because you can always use them for something. You could die cut out of them or something. Or just add these. I mean, I'm sure I can make something out of these. I don't have to. It's not like I have an OCD. I don't have to, but perhaps I could. I really like this one. So, is there anything else I could try? I could try to make these work, because you know what? This one is destroyed anyway. It's a hot mess with capital letters, I must say. So, should I go try to make it work with some white? It's going to turn pink. What I could do is try something else. I'm just going to take this one away. And I thought, since I know that the sprays from Dina Wakley, the new gloss sprays, are perfect, absolutely wonderful, I could try... You know what, I could try, if I could just find a box big enough. Look at this hot mess there. And let's see if I could find the box that I have been using for sprays and such. I suppose I'll just have to find another. I just had it here. Yeah, you know what, it's hidden underneath the papers, isn't it? So, I know that it's not going to fit here as I want to. But I think that I can make it work anyway, and you can actually see me as well. That's great news. I'm just a little bit worried about a spray sticking to the plate. But I have to be quick about cleaning it up, I suppose, or just lifting it off. Let's see, I've shaken it now. Let's put on some spray, and it's going to I'm sort of trying to, you know what, it's going to take a whole lot more that I've got here, but I have to be quick about this just to see if I can make it work. I have to give it a go. It didn't give much now, did it? It was a faint apology, I must say. So that's not something for me, but what I'm going to do now is going to lift off the white paint, or the spray. Yeah, it's paint. It is actually paint. Just going to lift it off, so I can clean my plate. So now it's a even hotter mess. Could I lift it up on top of this one, perhaps? That is a nice effect, I must say. But I need something to pick it up with quickly, and I think I'll just go for the small bottle then. Oopsie daisy, I forgot to shake it. So now it's going to be what it's going to be. So this is a thin transparent layer, so what would happen if I were to put it on something, perhaps on this one with a black background? So now I've got this one going on here. Is there anything I could put on top of this one? I did like this one before, but now it's a completely different story. So I think I'll just try to spray some water on top. Usually I don't do this, but I don't want that gloss spray to stick to this. And you could also go for some alcohol gel, or perhaps even, I'm looking for the baby wipes now. For goodness sakes. Where have I put it? It's not here. There. Just thinking about you could go for baby oil or hand sanitizer, it's called. But I don't think that the hand sanitizer is going to make any difference with the gloss spray, because the gloss spray is meant to get stuck on every surface. And you have to scrape it off. And I don't want to scrape this one because I'm afraid that that one's going to get broken also. So I'm just going to take a little bit of hand sanitizer, alcohol gel. Oops, it got me in my eyes. Not so nice. And another baby wipe. Just going to clean up my finger first because that one is really messy. I'm sorry for that. The doorbell rang and now I actually have to take a break, so I'll finish this video off like this. I hope you learned something. It was just a sort of a test drive with these inks. You know what, I could just show you something here in the end, because you know what, I'm using a baby wipe here now, trying to clean off this baking board, and baby wipes are nice, but they just go so far. So what I actually use is this ultra clean stamp cleaner, and this one is really magical because it does clean off the most things, inks and such. Let's see if it works on acrylic paints as well. It doesn't take it away completely, so I have to figure out a way to I'm not sure if I have anything to clean up the mess here. But anyway, I'm going to sign off right now, and I thank you for watching. Bye bye.